month of July 2022. So it's about exam practice items in preparation for the associate RPA examination. Okay, so sharing screen. We've started this exercise. Yeah, some couple of days since Monday, about 3 days ago, and now we are still on this set of questions we've been using. All right. Okay, so with question 13, it says select the term which is best described by this. It defines how the variable will be identified. Yeah, it defines. Now I will have to. I may have to just speed up. Yeah, just speed up, like scroll. The main reason is to have to expose possible questions, other questions to us, since we have a lot and we have limited time. So that may be the reason why I'll just do flip. All right, just that way. Okay, I hope that is welcome. Okay. Yes, defines how the variable will be identified.
Variable name.
Name.
Okay.
That should be the name, sir. That should be the name of the variable.
Okay, that handles it. Question 14, select the JIT integration command which corresponds to the description below. It will revert the changes done after the last commit. Push, undo, commit, pull. Those are the 4 options. It will revert.
Undo, sir.
Okay, undo. All right, 15. Yeah, 15. Which of the following statements are true regarding defined element activity? Defined element activity. Remember the activities
Anchor.
when we used. Let me show you the options, except that may be so small. See everything. Okay, so we have all this. You have seen the question, then these are the questions. Let me see. In case you want to snap, I don't think it's needed, but in case you want to. Okay. Or screenshots or print screen. Which of the following statements are true regarding defined element activity? It returns the found element in a variable for later use. It throws an exception if it doesn't find the element on screen. All the listed options. It returns a boolean specifying if the element was found on screen. Is there any other one? I suppose. Let me see. Okay. All right. Find elements. Remember, find elements. You're looking for a particular element on the web page or on an application. Okay, so if it doesn't find it,
I think it's B, sir.
An exception.
B is among. No, I think we are going to check.
Okay.
Is it only one?
By going by the radio button, it looks like a multi-select, but they did ask us to select all that apply. But then, as experts, let's look at it. Do we have more than one answers to this? Does it return the found element in a variable for later use? Yeah?
No,
it doesn't.
It does not. It does not.
It doesn't. Okay. Does it throw an exception if it doesn't find the element on screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it does.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so all the listed is out since A is not in. then does it return a boolean true or false, specifying if the element was found on screen?
No, sir.
No.
All right, so
No, sir.
so B has it. So the right option is B. All right. Do you have any question here? Okay, 16. What is an environment in Orchestrator? Oh, it's already reviewed. Okay, no problem. What's an environment in Orchestrator? I think the somehow it's been projected, but it will not. I expect this. I think this should generate some. This may generate some from what's it called now? Generate some the kind of debates.
That should be C, sir. A cluster of workflows.
No, it's D.
Machine.
Okay. Any objections?
Machines,
Not
sir.
machine.
Yeah, a group
None
of
of the listed
machines.
options.
Is D. Is D.
It's D.
Yeah, is D.
Okay, that's true.
Okay. Any objection? Okay. Who said none of the listed
It's
options?
not D.
None of the listed option. I go for none of the listed option.
Who said that? That sounds like Theophilus.
Yeah, Theophilus.
Okay. All right.
I think an environment should also contain the work jobs to be done, including the robots and the machines. So I don't think the option is here.
Okay. Okay. So we have two parties now.
None of
the D option and the none of the listed option. None of the listed options. I mean. All right, Amarachi.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I want your input here.
Okay, I have to read it again because I just right now. Disconnected.
Okay, so okay. Now I think no, there's no need for me to drag what you have already delisted, as incorrect. The cluster of workflows defined in Orchestrator. Why did you delist that? Because someone mentioned it earlier, but I think the person has changed it. I think you saw something.
I think something.
Huh?
I think actually changed, sir.
Okay, you have not changed your view.
Yes,
I don't. Oh, okay, all right then. So we still have another 30. All right, so let's go.
We're showing that big vendor.
Yeah. So why would we object? Why would we object? Why would those that said none of the listed option? Why are they removing a cluster of workflows defined in Orchestrator?
It's P or T.
I heard a Kamala first voice. Am I sure? Am I correct? Anyone say something? Okay, I'm all here. I'm with us.
Okay, so can I explain?
Okay, Theophilus, yes, please do.
Well, from my little understanding I have about environments, they are kind of like represented in folders on Orchestrator. So, and the folder most times contains like the workflow, like which is the process, and they also contain the machines, and then the robots that are assigned. So, with that knowledge, I'm kind of choosing none of the listed options because I feel the cluster of workflow is not enough, and then the group of machines is actually not enough. That's my own ideology. Like, yeah, what I'm using to define the answer as none of the listed options.
Yeah.
Okay.
To add to that, sir. From my own understanding also, we can say an environment is like an office that contains employees which are the robots, the computers to carry out their duties, which are the machines, and also the work to be done, which could be whatever they want to do. So from here now, there is no any option that represents those three things. So it is still none of the listed options.
Essentially, okay, all right. The third person. Okay, the person that said a cluster of workflows defined in Orchestrator. I would like to hear your view. It sounds like John Awe. I'm not sure. I'm
Yes,
just
sir.
thinking. Okay, please go ahead.
Well, why I said it's a cluster of workflows is because what we are is the workflow that is being published
Okay,
in
well,
Orchestrator.
Okay.
Yes. So it is when the workflows are published that every other thing comes in. The machine and the robot that we execute.
Yes, I get your view. The issue I have, if I'm talking like just like one of you, I'm just speaking now. The issue I have with this is that the workflow. Can we say the workflow is the same as robots? Yes, that's why I said. That's why I said no. That's my concern.
Workflow is just the flow of activities
in the studio.
It's not the
Yes.
same.
So it's not robot.
All right, and what about my? Okay, go ahead.
So workflow, they are like packages that we publish to the orchestrator.
Workflow. Let me get what you said now. Workflow, they are like packages.
As in package, after we publish it is called package.
Okay, so, after we have published, it is called
exactly. So
maybe
package.
We call it package or we call it whatever. We call it package. Okay, let's put it as
package.
Package.
Exactly. So that we publish to the
so it is once it is published, it's no more workflow there. Is it good? Are we right to say that?
Yes,
well, they are set of.
Yes, according to UiPath.
According to exactly, it is no more workflow. It's a package.
Okay, all right. John,
does not mean it's no more a workflow.
Okay, good. So these are the.
Technically, I don't think it's a workflow, but actually it's still connected to a workflow. So I don't know.
For me, I don't see any technicality
well,
in it.
It's no more a workflow. It's a package.
Yeah,
and what is a package? What is a package? If you say it's a package.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
No, according to Mr. Julius, those that have taught us they said once it is
in Orchestrator, the workflow is stored as packages. So that's why it's called package in Orchestrator. It does not mean it's no more a workflow.
That's the point I'm trying to try.
Now, once we agree that workflow is the same as robots, okay, then it makes that the answer to be C. If we do not, then it renders it null and void, and then it becomes a B. Sorry. So
I still think it's a cluster of workflows. So
hello, sir.
Workflows. Okay. Yes.
Hello, sir. You know, in Orchestrator, I don't think there is no term
for workflow.
There is no term. It is called package, and once you publish your workflow, it becomes package. So whatever we are discussing should be package, not workflow. So if you are measuring workflow in Orchestrator, then that term workflow doesn't exist.
Okay.
So can you just explain, highlight what environment means in Orchestrator?
Yes. The environment, that's where you have your robots. You have said it. You are there already. That's where you have your robot. That's where you arrange what this robot will do, and even depending on what you have put in your package ahead now, but and you have your robots being attached to machines. Now going by, because if we go by, if we say workflow is the same as robots, then that means that we should just go for that option. But in my view, I feel it is a distraction. Hello, I don't know if you are getting me.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, please listen. Just listen to this. Now, workflow is the place where you put your code together. Forget about all those activities, drag and drop, all those things that have been simplified by the studio. They are codes. It's as good as you are writing your codes, and of course that's your workflow. Now, if you have that workflow, as it were, do you really use the workflow? Do you bring it into Orchestrator like that?
No, sir.
Do you get what the picture I'm trying to paint? Your codes,
Yes, sir.
you bring them in like that?
No, sir.
There is something that
Yes, sir.
executes those codes, and that is what Orchestrator is relating with. That's why I
Yes.
said the workflow it looks to me like a distraction. Just like they also want to use a group of machines to also distract. Have I said the answer?
Yes, sir. You said none of the listed options is the answer.
Okay, that's what I
You
said.
implied.
Ah,
Yes, that's what you implied.
Sir, what about a group of machines?
Good. Your machines, yes, your machines, if your environment is where you have your robots, your machines are not the same thing as robots. Your machines simply are the host for your robots. So we cannot say that the group of machine is the environment that we are looking for here. So the issue that they are contending with, that they want to spell out here, is it borders on terms or terminology. Workflow, machines, robots, and all of that. That's the way this question, that's the way it appears to me. I want you to look at it again and again. From all that we have said, if you agree that an environment is a place where your robots are being put together, if we agree, if we start from that point, and then we can now begin to, on the ground of objectivity, and say, okay, it's workflow robot, it's robot the same as workflow. So we need to spread that out and say, okay, on this ground, this is not workflow, this is robot. I don't know if I just want to hear your views again. Are you there? You are looking at that workflow should still be the same thing as robots. What is robot? Let me ask, what is robot?
Huh?
What is robot?
This is what executes the process.
It's
A
what
robot
executes.
is a software program in this case.
Okay, I execute.
So
The process.
Okay,
The published package. Or
The workflow.
the workflow. Just say, yes, let's just say the codes, the workflow, the
it's a
codes.
software program.
Okay,
Is
that's
a
what
host that executes software.
Okay, all right. So if it's the host, like that, as we said, if it's the software that executes the codes, themselves, they are loose without having the robot execute those codes. They don't self-exist. So when you say a cluster of workflows, a cluster of codes, Orchestrator does not relate with directly relates with what you have in your workflows. Of course, there is an interface. Then you have the robot doing it, executing it. The orchestrator helping to now control the robot. Okay, so I will go for none of the listed options. But if I do not look keenly, I will run into what I will also run into. As in, I'm just telling you my view.
Okay, sir.
Oh, 17. 17. I think this okay. All right. The triggers.job count strategy parameter enables you to choose the strategy for launching jobs through triggers. Okay. Suppose that's the story. Giving. A trigger is defined to launch 9 jobs at a given point in time. Wow. 2 jobs have been successfully completed and the trigger is set off again. Now, true or false? Orchestrator launches another 2 jobs so as to reach the 9 required jobs. False or true this time around? This is another debatable issue. This is the idea. A trigger actually is meant to work on 9 jobs at a particular time. Now, after 2 of those 9 jobs have been completed, then the trigger was set to off. It was set off. And so now the question now is, Orchestrator launches another 2 jobs so as to reach the 9 required jobs. That is when it says when it starts again. So is that true or false?
Sir, it seems true, but it depends on the number of robots you have to work on the job. The number of robots you allocated.
Yeah, it's meant to. Actually, it's meant to be 9. It has 9 jobs to launch. But 2 has been done, so that means let's say we are having 7 left. In quotes, yeah. All right, so
I'll go for 2.
I will go for 2 normally, but then
any objection?
Yes, sir.
Any
Because
objection?
like normally, if it is just 2 jobs,
Yeah.
then I'll feel okay. But it's dynamic now in that. What if for that process, for the first 2 processes, it was actually the user assigned 2 robots for those 2 processes? Then maybe for the rest, it was more flexible with it. Then it won't actually just be 2 jobs running later. It could be 3, it could be 4. That will be running at the same time.
Okay, so
depending on the number of robots.
Okay, do you think this trigger will still ensure that it launches all the 9 jobs allocated to it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that settles it. So that makes true. It makes it true. Okay, I want to push something to the chat box. Should I? Let me push it there. Do we have Abubakar in class? Abubakar, then Abdul. I think, is it the same person, Abubakar, Abdul, or they are different?
It's the same person.
Okay. Okay, are you around?
No, he's not around.
Oh, okay. All right. Just coming out, come back to screen. All right. We have this, okay, all this, we bother on Orchestrator. Identify the missing words in the following sentence within the context of UiPath Academy. Keys are containers that hold dash items. Keys are containers that hold dash items. An unlimited number of items between 1 and 1 million, a maximum of 1,000, a maximum of 100,000 items.
Unlimited.
Unlimited, sir.
Yeah. In fact, if you don't know much about key, for you to have seen, I'm thinking between 1 and 1 million, the maximum of whatever can hold 1 to 1 million and can hold 100,000 should be able to hold an unlimited number of items. My thinking, I'm not applying technical or logic here. I'm just trying to use the algorithm. Okay, so it's unlimited. Sorry, it's unlimited. Question 19 scenario. You are working with a typical database of employees of a group in the company you work at. The data organized naturally in an XLSX file. Which of the following worksheet elements will be used for the following content? All the data of one employee. One employee. Emphasis on one employee.
Row.
Row, sir.
Yeah?
Let's see the
Row.
last.
What do you say?
Let's see the.
Okay.
I think we've done something like this before.
No, not the same.
No, it's
Not
not the same.
They are not the same.
Let's go.
No, it's true.
Let's go.
It's one employee.
All the data of one employee.
It's true.
Okay. There's no need to waste it. Or any objection, please. For instance, we have John Ibrahim, number 1, John Awe, number 2, like that, Swabon Theophilus, number 3. So we have his name, first name, his age, his marital status, and for each person on a single row, based on the classification we have in the columns. The column section is the date of his first employment, his the city of residence or whatever, just all those row handles should handle it. Number 20, which is the best workflow type for the following problem statement? We have, let me see if there is, okay. We have a workflow with successive decision points. Based on the input data and the verifications made, it may have 5 possible outcomes.
I think it's state machine.
Flowchart.
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 Okay, yeah, okay. If it's now
State machine.
Okay, good. 2 parties now. All right, why did you say state machine? We have a workflow
Because
with
if it's a
success.
flow chart,
Yeah.
the flow decision only has 2 outcomes, either true or false. But for a state machine, you can have more than 2 decision points.
Okay, I need more. I want to gather more. Amarachi, you also said state machine. Why? And then those that said flowcharts, you also need to defend. Oh, you are looking at the question again. Please do.
I said flowchart. Flowchart is a you can represent more complex workflows using flowchart. That's why I said flowchart. Since they're saying 5 possible outcomes and all that.
Okay. All right. Okay. A quick one is just sorry. A short. Sorry, I wanted to. You are not doing anything. Flowchart demo. So we just have. Where is it now? You know that question itself. When you see, of course, when you see decision points, whatever makes you gives you the ground to make decision based on input data, and the verifications are made. These are, of course, based on conditions. That tells me of flow charts. Where is it now? Okay, all right. So now you said true or false. Sorry, someone said true. It has two decisions or something, true, false. We are talking about flow decision, I suppose.
I think so too, sir.
Which one are you thinking?
No, like I think it was talking about flow decision, because that gives us true or false for a flow chart.
Yes, the flow decision is what gives you. Let's bring it up. Decision. So in flow decision, you have two possible outcomes. Yes, thank you. All right. If it's false, comes back to start, or comes back to assign. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Yeah,
Okay,
you
the
said.
last question, what was the answer?
Sorry, the last one or the current one?
No, the last question that I said, the answer is statement. So what is the last?
Okay. Yes, it's flow chart. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you want to free us so we don't have to argue on that. Thank you. Yeah,
Okay.
21. Yeah,
Hello?
Hello?
Yes. My question is when exactly do we need state machines? Because almost everything, like so far, we've been rolling out state machines. So I want to know, like, when exactly.
Now the thing is this: state machine. It's a more complex workflow than flowcharts. Just as flowcharts is also, it gives room for complex processes than sequence. You know, in sequence you just go that way, but flowcharts you make decisions, you go, you branch, you go back, now in state machine, you have, in fact, you have there is what this that is called transition. It's a more complex workflow. Which subsumes even flowchart, subsumes sequence. So if the question actually had has mentioned some serious complexities, like you need to let's say you need to get data from a particular department, and that data you have to process it. That's what we call get transaction item. You have to process the data. After processing the data, you still take it to another level, and then before you move to the other level, there are conditions attached. This is, for instance, this is state machine. What does it? It looks so simple, like you look at it, the way you are looking at it, but it has it is a lot of things are embedded in state machine, and the question actually does not suggest that we are having very serious complex work that we want to do. It's simply talking about making decision, a program that requires taking decision. Okay, so that is why flowchart becomes more appropriate in that context. So I want to open up this. Just not us to see the environment. Why is it not highlight? It's okay. Okay, let me. I want it to open up. For us to see the behavior state, we'll see things like transition. What other, like there are some concepts in state machine. All right. Well, actually, it's an aspect we cannot but explore in the advanced aspect of RPA state machine. In fact, the RPA framework itself, it's established on state machine model. You must have been seeing this. Where is it now? This RPA, you call it Robotic Enterprise Framework. All right. I'm opening this. We don't need this now. Sorry, just to open it up. We're not doing anything with it.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Please, are we going to be seeing questions on this RE framework in the associate exam?
Are you going to be answering questions on state machine? Is that what you asked?
No. On this RE framework.
Now,
is it possible we find questions on it in the exam?
Now, because I'm not in charge, I will tell you why I'm answering this way, so that you don't take it as another political statement. Now, the reason why I want to answer this way, because I will not give you a direct answer. All right, it's while RE framework is not part of what we are looking at now. Once very like one question from RE framework, sometimes I come across it in associates. Sometimes I just ask questions like, why now? It's not part of the curriculum. So I don't know why. So if I say that you will not see it and you see it, So what I don't know. You may ask me question that, okay, why are you not going that line? Well, the truth is, it's not part of the curriculum for associates. Do you get? So I've seen, and practically, especially experientially, I've seen one like one question like that will just train him. I don't know why. Maybe that's an effort to throw all those that have mastered everything about associate to throw them. I don't know. But of course, white people should not have that kind of mindset. Okay, but that is my own observation, my own experience with associate exam. So you just see just one, you may not see in another set of question. You may not. So, but it is not part of it's not part of the curriculum for associates. Okay, I think I was opening something. Okay, robotic. All right, so it's a complex. This is a serious. It's a complex workflow. Seriously complex. You can build it yourself. You can use this template. No crime, nothing. What you need, you check it in. What you don't need, it out. Okay, but this model essentially, you need something around this. Okay, it is, but let's save our breath. Okay. All right, so we have this for 21. What is the maximum number of catches you can have in a try catch block? We have 3-1. There is no limit on the number of catches. We have 2. We have what else? We have 5. What is the maximum number of
think it's
catches?
6.
I can't even hear anything. Hello?
There is no limit.
Okay, someone said 2.
There's no.
Did I hear 2?
3, sir. It's 3.
Okay.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, someone said 3.
It's 3.
Oh, okay. And then someone said there is no limit on the order of opinions. Okay, so we have 3 and there is no limit. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Okay, well, to go straight to hello, yeah.
Sir, I'm still having difficulty with that state machine and flowchart. Because I've not come across any flowchart that has 5 possible outcomes. So I don't know if someone can help with an example. It's getting difficult for me to assimilate. Yes.
Let's look at the question again. We have a workflow with successive decision points. What does successive decision points imply? A scenario.
Most likely that there are more than one decision point.
One precedes the other.
Yeah.
Yes, following closely after one another. More than one decision point following closely after one another, consecutively.
Okay, based on the input data. If I throw in, let's say if I throw in this value based on the input data and the verifications made, it may have 5 possible outcomes. If I throw in 5 and 5 is not what is required in as a value, for instance, if it's maybe 5 is out of what is expected. Okay, it gives me at it takes decision. moves to, it gives me another maybe room to impute another, or that 5 imputed takes me to another maybe another sequence or another path. That if you pick 5, another flow. If you pick 5, then this is what should happen. Else, if it is not 5, then it comes to this. It should take this form, and then so that is. I think that is the idea here. It may have 5 possible outcomes based on the input data made. Of course, you are not even looking the way of sequence. So, but you are looking at state machine. You are looking at state machine coming into that into that space. Scenarios on state machine would reflect. I tell you that, like what I showed to you here. This initialization, for instance, it has to read data from a particular, maybe from a database, most especially from an Excel sheet. It is after reading it, and if it is
Hello,
true,
sir.
yeah.
Are you sharing your screen, sir?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
I think
I
I
can't
am from
see
my
it.
hand.
I can't see it. Let me just hang up and rejoin.
Yeah, it's not general.
Can others see it? Let me know if it's from my side.
Yes,
Let him
sir.
log
Yes,
out
sir.
and join again. I think it's happened to
Okay.
me.
Okay, so it reads data from an Excel sheet, and based on the information read, if it is true, okay, so it goes into it will get transaction data. If it is not, the process will be ended. And when it gets to get transaction data, the transaction data that has been obtained here will be processed. But if there are some issues with the transaction data, like this is the transition, what you have in between here, you see no data. If you come to the properties panel, it is not something that we should be looking at. But then it's class interaction that is taking us there. So if the condition here, let me pull out the condition here, that if there is no data in this get transaction, okay, it says that transaction item is nothing. You should expect that it's nothing. Transaction item is nothing. When it is nothing, then it should end the process. But if transaction, what's it called? The transaction here, if it is not nothing, if transaction item is not nothing, then you should proceed to process the data. It's this is state machine. This what you have here. It's like you are replicating state machine, and I don't see that in that scenario that has been painted. I don't know if are you seeing the same scenario in what was painted. You can just let me know what how you are seeing this. Hello, was it Dami that asked that question?
No, sir, it wasn't me, sir.
Okay.
But I think in simple terms, sir, can I just make
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, in simple term, somebody said earlier that the flow chart, flow decision only has 2 possible outputs, that's the true or false. But then I think within the flow chart itself, you can have more than 2 flow decisions. So you can connect more than 2 flow decisions. So you can actually achieve like 5 decisions with the flow chart. So because you can use the flow decision within the flow chart, you can connect more than 3, 4, 5 within the same flow chart. So
okay, yes, I heard you. Well, it depends on the, I don't know who was the person. Are you still there? Well, I'm not particular about the person that asked. I'm just simply want to look at your satisfaction level with this question, and with our views based on our choice of flow charts. In my own case, in fact, without any practical expression, when what you are looking at, from my experience and from my experience with UiPath question, way of posing question, constructing question. Okay, once you see a sense of linear process, like what we looked at one, I think maybe on Monday or so, it logs in, it downloads, it does it. So sometimes they will not put the word sequentially, as else you get it. But once you see a tone of linear process, that means what you will need there is what's it called, sequence. Now, when it comes to decision making, it is simply flowchart. Now, when it comes to some very complex scenarios, like you move from you need to get data at from a repository, and then you process it. Then decisions are being made, and then you check if the data actually aligns with what you have in another repository, and so based on that, you process that again, and then you add the processing the results in that state from that then will be pushed to so. Else, if such does not happen, you end or you terminate the process. If it does, you move to the next, and all of that complex. It's usually a complex scenario that will be posed if it is state machine, because that's what state machine does. It handles complex things. This is decision making. Flowchart helps in that regard a lot. If it's not going towards this direction, towards this flow, then this flow. You remember at some point, I think we had to use even if statements, if activity within if within if statement. Okay, and that alone, in that if in if, then if not, then that was even giving us options of having different decision points, of going through different decision points. And of course, flowcharts does that extensively. So that's the reason for the choice of flowcharts.
Well, I just finished the explanation. I just came back now.
Oh, okay, you've been out before. Okay, you will catch it later. I think.
Yes, I will
Okay,
watch it.
okay. All right. Okay, yes, we have. I think we have not settled this. We have someone said 3, someone said there is no limit on the number of catches. Yeah, where are we? What is the maximum number of catches? To go straight to the point, there is no limit actually. Yes, there is no limit. You can have as many as possible. unlike global handler that you only have one in a project. In the case of try-catch, as many as try-catch, you can be try-catching all your activities that you may think may throw error and it, may throw exception. You can do that for all your activities. It will not complain. It's all about you and about your design. And so actually there is no limit to the number of catches you can have in a catch block. Okay. 20, okay, this is 22. You almost skipped it. This is stuff at 22. My saliva is getting dried up. I suppose it's because it is break time, or it's even post break time. Okay, so maybe we should take time off. Or do you want us to continue? Don't pity me, just leave me with.
So let's have the break.
Let's have a break, sir.
Okay, all right, okay. I suppose your children are already disturbing you.
Yes, continue.
Okay, quickly go and attend to them. All right. Thank you. So by 8:20 we should be back. 8:20 West African time. Okay, I think we should be done with our break. So if truly your break was for tea taking, you should be done with the last drop now, putting spoons in your cup. And if your break is for addressing and readjusting things at the family front, I'm sure that should have been done by now. All right, so let's continue from where we stopped. Okay, can you hear me? All right, so if you can hear me, I would want someone whose base is not so much. Let me check to see. Lucky in class. Lucky and Nance. Okay. Okay, we have Leona, we have all right, Runye. Yes, you are in class today again. All right, can you please read the question for us? Are you available? And is your environment okay? Is this sound
Yes.
okay? Okay, good. All right. You can see female's voice, very sharp. When I grow up, I would like to be like them. Okay. All right. Question 22.
Okay. Identify the missing words in the following sentence within the context of UiPath Academy.
Okay, continue.
Okay.
The missing words, that's in that thing. You can just use anything to represent it. What we are looking for, yeah, containers. Yeah.
Question mark are containers that can hold multiple data entries, values of the same data type. For example, email address can hold the value RPA developer at uipath.com. The value of this can change through external input, data manipulation, or passing from one activity to another. Another question mark are configured through their properties.
Okay, so the question mark actually specifies what we are looking for. That's the option we're going to insert in. So whatever we pick, so these are containers that can hold multiple data entries. And what is that thing that can hold multiple data entries of the same data
Variables,
type?
sir.
Okay, I need some kinds of objections. Is it a uniform answer we're having on this? Uniform agreement? You know, the reason why it seems like I'm looking for trouble, always looking for troubles, even when there's no trouble, is because it's like troubles makes us wiser somehow. You get to hear things from different perspectives, and that broadens your view concerning that concept. All right, actually, variables. I don't know, how did you arrive at your answer? Let me find out from Joe. Maybe that can help us too. Joe, how did you arrive at variables?
Okay, it says the value of this can change to external inputs, data manipulation, or passing from one activity to another. So that applies to variables. And also, it says that they are containers that can hold multiple data entries.
All right.
That is values. So we
Yeah.
know variables can hold a default value or whatever.
All
So
right. Yeah, correct. Yeah. Question 23. You are viewing you are viewing your activities panel for the PDF activities. What is it? Sorry. You are viewing your activities panel, but the PDF activities are not registering. Okay.
Isa, the last one.
Huh?
The last one,
It's
sir.
the last one.
The last one, by installing them using the manage package features.
Feature. All right. All right. You have passed through it before. It has happened to you, so you know what. Okay. So experience actually spelled that out. Okay. 24. How can you use a new variable in UiPath Studio? You need to see the options.
It's the third one, sir.
Let me see. You need to see everything to see. Let me see if there is other. But it's going to be very, very small. Okay, the first one, press Ctrl plus Shift K, and okay. The first, second, not applicable. The third says press Ctrl K in an input field that requires a variable in the properties.
That's the answer, sir.
Look at the
The
other
I
bit-
don't
one.
think it has
No,
to
the
do with
last
the
and
properties
the two.
panel. I
The
think
two will be the
it's
answer.
the one
Press
under.
The check.
Don't look at the check. Anything can be checked. So let me check this too then.
Check.
You
Okay,
see what?
multiple choice. Oh, yes, those ones.
Okay, so are we saying this one is also possible? Press Ctrl K
Yes, sir.
in an.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
That's also possible, sir.
Okay, let's say if there's another one. What about this one? The last one now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's possible.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
last one is applicable also.
Okay, so we are how many possibilities do we have now?
4, sir.
Okay.
Are you sure 4?
This shift K, I don't know if it
You have three.
applies.
You have 3, sir.
It will actually Shift K. This Shift K will not work. It's not part of it actually. This takes place in the properties panel. This takes place at the variables panel. This takes place where? In the studio, in the designer panel. Do you get?
Yes.
All right. Question 25. Okay.
Sorry, hello, sir. What is the answer for the last question?
Okay, it's okay. Now these 3, press Ctrl K. We use Ctrl K whether at the properties panel, variables panel, or within the designer panel to to create a variable. Do you agree with that?
So.
All right. So
yes,
that's the reason why we are picking this. This is correct because it says press Ctrl plus K in an input field that requires a variable in the properties panel, and saying this the order of correct response is press Ctrl plus K in an activity input field that requires a variable. Okay.
But do we have to press Ctrl K for in the variable panel?
No, we don't. We are simply creating. This one says select and create.
Okay.
Yeah, so the variable panel is this one is yeah. This one is variables panel, and you get that idea. All right, this one properties, and this in the designer panel. All right, so 25 now. What value with the following expression return. String dot format as you see it on your screen. Let me push it out. Let me zoom in. Okay, so what is it going to do? Have we seen it?
Well, oh,
Have we seen it? Okay. Okay.
Highway. Okay.
John is home.
John is home.
Yes.
No. Beyond home, beyond far away.
Okay, now which index? We have 1, 0. We have all right, so which index is going for home?
Index 0.
Which one is going for 1?
June.
All right, so what about far away?
3.
As in, let's say 2.
That's true.
Oh, yes, index 2. Sorry. Index 2.
True.
Sorry. Yes.
Index 2. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we don't have 2 here. It cannot call for 2 here at all. 2 is not, so that means that far away is even far away from this option. I mean, truly it's far away. I don't know if you get how I. Okay, but then that is a way. That is a cheap way of arriving at. What if we have some complex corrections, or we are even meant to write it? Not that it is an MCQ like this. All right. So
Let's see.
okay, John is O. All right. So this is. All right. So this is index what now? This is 0.
0, 0.
Yes, this is 1. As we have it here. All right. I think that's the end of this half length. Then we move to another one. I knew we were going to finish it, so I already opened one. Okay, this will be this. So the same principle applies. Doing it together makes it sweeter. Question 1 says, you have included a sort data table activity in your workflow. The data table variable is called DT usernames. The input data table field is set to the DT usernames. It's set to the DT usernames variable, and the output data table field is also set to DT usernames. The activity will sort the data table values. And what is it going to do? Will it store them in a different variable after sorting, or display them in the output panel after sorting, or store them in the same variable after sorting, or store them in an Excel file? Do we have another option? Okay, yes. I see another option, or store them in a .csv file. So two things
In the
will
same
become.
variable.
Any objection?
Store them in the same variable.
All right. So okay, I think we should just move. That is it. Store them in the same variable. I was simply trying to use substitution method. Is it substitution or elimination method? All right. Why this will negate each other? All right. And so if I pick this, then why not this? Since we are not talking about, I simply talking about some data table now. Okay. So why this is gone? Output panel. No, we are not talking about log message write line. So we have these two now. So is it going to store them in a different table? And you look at the question again. Since it's sorting, is it going to store after sorting the values still now store in a different variable? It's going to store. It's going to actually store them in the same variable. This is long. It's also long. Question 2. Regular expression regx is a specific search pattern that can be used to easily match, locate, and manage text. However, creating regular expressions may be challenging. UiPath Studio contains a regular expression builder that simplifies the creation of regular expressions. Typical uses of regs include which of the following? Select for. They have even tried select for. We have string manipulation, input validation, interacting with your elements, string passing, debugging, data scraping. String manipulation, input validation, interacting with UI elements, string passing, debugging. Okay, debugging the data scraping.
Input validation.
Is it okay? Yeah, doing multi-select here.
Then string manipulation.
So let me check as you are saying it. And if there's any objection, just pick up. String manipulation, input validation. All right. All right. So we have identified two. Okay. Which other one or ones, or definitely which other ones? So which one is not applicable at all when it comes to regular expression?
I think debugging is out of it.
Debugging is out of it. Is that thinking right? And which other one?
Then interacting with your elements.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So we know two. We have removed two. Then we have string passing. If we can do string manipulation, then we can do string passing. So data scraping. Does it do data scraping?
Yes, sir, because it has to do with text also. Data scraping has to do with text also, yes.
All right. So actually, it's there in your notes, in that student manual, the four uses of regular expression. Okay. Yeah, we have question 3. Identify the missing words in the following sentence within the context of UiPath Academy. Identify the missing words in the following sentence within the context of UiPath Academy. Okay, so let me show up the question. Dash are events that are recognized, caught by the program, categorized and handled. More specifically, there is a routine configured by the developer that is activated when that thing is caught. Sometimes the handling mechanism can be simply stopping the execution. Some of what we're looking for, like that thing, are linked to the systems used, while others are linked to the logic of the business process. Can someone just speak up without showing the whole thing, or you want me to show? All right. Exception. All right. That is it. 4. As the UiPath Studio has several panels within it. Each has a different function. Which panel is used to modify the scope of a variable? So beg.
Variable.
Yeah. You can see that if this one is coming from UiPath, I think they also have some giveaways. Okay. Yeah, we have this question 5. As a version control, select the JIT integration command, which corresponds with the description below. We get the latest version from the remote repository. I think we looked at one that says we revert. We revert us on the pool. We get, all right, pool, it's the right option here. You are developing a workflow, and part of this workflow requires you to verify that the string has a valid email format. We have looked at this implicitly.
Regular expression.
But we have not seen it now. Okay, let's check if it's there. Regular expression. Actually, regular expression does that job. Look at all the distractions they have put there for you. And it's not as if these things cannot, but what is it? Let me look at this. There you go. You're developing a workflow. Part of this workflow requires you to verify that a string has a valid email address. Or does someone have an objection? Okay, actually, regular expression does the job so neatly. Question 7, identify the missing words in the following sentence within the context of UiPath Academy. Okay, good one. Extracting workflows and reusing them across an automation project is a good habit for keeping a project organized, readable, and sustainable. At the same time, there are cases in which workflows can be reused in different projects. Consider the sequence of logging into SAP. All right, every time an automation project deals with SAP, the same sequence will be needed. Storing and reusing components in separate projects is done through what?
Hope it's not argument like this. So can we see the full list?
Sounds like argument.
Or asset. Argument.
Arguments.
Search libraries. I think it's libraries.
Let's look at it. Extracting the workflows and reusing them across an automation project.
It's a whole workflow. That's not a variable.
Extracting workflows and reusing them across an automation project. is a good habit for keeping a project organized, readable, and sustainable. At the same time, there are cases in which workflows can be reused in different projects. Consider the sequence of logging into SAP. Every time an automation project deals with SAP, the same sequence will be needed.
Sorry, we can't hear you, sir.
Options again, sir.
Okay. Yes, I think I'm done with reading. Yes, I have flowchart, state machines.
Templates, sir.
Arguments.
You have control flows. Where is it now? You have arguments. You have control flows. You have collection flows. You have sequences. You have process libraries. Is there any other thing?
Process library.
Okay, you said arguments, you said library, so we have two parties right now. So why did you say arguments? And why are you going for process libraries? Because extracting workflows are okay, go ahead, please.
Okay, with arguments, basically you're sending you're like transferring the values of a variable to other workflows. But now we want a workflow that we can integrate into another workflow. So to do that, we need a template. If you save as a template, you can always integrate it with a new workflow.
Okay, so you are going with
in addition to that, sir.
Okay.
In addition to that, I think we did something around invoking the workflow from. I think we did something around invoking workflow, and we use argument. So I think that can fly in this case as well.
Okay, you are talking about argument then.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there is not an addition. You are countering. I think the first speaker. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I was thinking it said argument. Okay.
It was talking in favor of libraries, reusing resources, reusing your projects.
Since it's between different projects, then it can't be argument. Argument can only be used within the same project, but different workflows. But different projects.
Reused in different projects.
So arguments can be used within the same project. So it's libraries.
Okay, I still had someone. That's Dami. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. This is
okay. I had someone still saying arguments. I want to hear you at least. Okay, I thought I had something argument. I hope there's no argument at home, please. All right. All right. Okay. Yeah. What we the right option here is library. Be using your project like you have done a workflow to maybe to log in into a directory, and so you can or into to get files from a directory. So you can just save it. So you don't need to redo the same thing for another client. You will just pull it and then integrate it into a new the current project. Okay, we have question 8 here. True, of
Sorry,
course.
sir, can I ask a question? Hello, sir.
Okay, yes, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
When using project libraries, When using project, sorry, my background is a little bit noisy. When using project libraries, can we use variables in those project libraries and it will still work when we are trying to use them in another project, or well, just to use, it's still going to be arguments when you're using the project libraries now?
Like the variable, like the variables that we have created, are we still going to need them in the new project? Does this sound
Yes,
right?
can we use them in the new project if I'm like invoking the project from the project library now? I don't know how to put it.
Yes, and it's variable, and we are talking about variables can take any value in. For just like the scenario I tried to paint, this what you have done is a mini work in quotes. That work is to log into the portal of accounts, account departments, log into the portal. Then there is a place where folders are kept, and then it goes there, downloads all the invoices, extract them. Okay, so you did that work for, I think that's a separate, that's a work. You saved it, you kept it. Now you need to do another work for another company that requires um, it's a bigger work now this time around, but a part of that work is to also do this. Like you also need to get into the account department or maybe another department. So you just do some little change and then get the files out, download, get the invoices out, download, extract, read, and then do all whatever you want to do. Okay, so now the variables, the variables have not, as it were, the variables have not changed. Like the variables, they are like pockets in which you can just input um, different things. So the variable itself, what you have created, it has not changed. It's not as if you are imputing a default value, and even if you are inserting default value, well, that you can change across jobs depending on for whatever reasons or purpose. Okay, so what it will actually do the same job. It will get directory. It will go to download files. It will extract just like you have done it in the previous or many projects. So the variables, as you don't need to change them. That's what I'm trying to establish.
All right, thank you, sir. Understood.
True or false? If the continuum error is set to true on an activity that has a scope, all the errors that continue in other activities inside the scope still register. I think this thing, okay, it's reviewed already, so let's move. All right, well then we can argue it out. It's not about what is reviewed. Yeah, hello?
Hello, sir. The network at my side is very, very bad. I hope this class is being recorded.
Yes, bro. Yes. Your faithful class rep is doing that, on your behalf. Okay, sorry about the fluctuating network. So when I don't know whether in Nigeria or outside Nigeria, you get
Nigeria, sir.
you already knew what I wanted to talk about.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
now, okay, so don't let me go there then. All right, so that I don't say negative things. All right, thank you. Okay, so yeah, if the continuum error is set to true on an activity, we find this with all this attach window, attach browser, what's it called, activities. Even we have it with try catch. Yes. Now, if it's set to true on an activity, just listen to the question. That has a scope. All the errors that occurs in that activities inside that scope still register. True or false?
True, sir.
Okay, how do we, please, can you give it explanation?
Okay, still register. Okay, yes, continue on exception. So on error rather. So normally, if there's an error or something, usually the process will be stopped basically. But with continual error now, if there's an error, it continues this thing, it continues running the workflow.
So all the activities in that
workflow will be
in that
carried
scope,
out.
Within that scope, will still go.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, that is the way it works. Everything within, for instance, attach window, attach browser, everything you have put inside the attach window, attach browser. If there is any error running there, and you have set continue on error on your attached windows or browser, it will still go. Yeah, we have this. Where is it now? Question 9, I suppose. Okay, question 9 now. RPA technologies are already transforming businesses of all kinds. As
Sorry,
companies,
sir. What's the answer to the previous question, sir?
True, it is true. It's true. It
All
will
right, thank you, sir.
continue. Yes, it is true. RPA technology is already transforming businesses of all kinds as companies around the world become convinced of automation's power and make it central to their strategies. There is no need to reinvent the wheel on this one. In working with thousands of customers to scale and implement RPA, UiPath has seen what works and what doesn't. So which are the steps of RPA implementations? Okay, we may spend some time here. And I tell you, just note this, which are the steps of RPA implementations? Notice the sequence, the arrow. The arrow signifying that you move from one point to another, okay, to the next, and to the next. All right. Oh, okay, we only have how many options here? 1, 2, 3, 4. We only have 4 options here.
I think is prepare RPA, opportunity assessment, solution design, build RPA, test RPA, stabilize, and constant improvement.
Okay, that's first opinion. Prepare RPA, opportunity assessment, solution design, build. Okay, other options, please.
Prepare RPA, then solution design, then you build the RPA, you test it, then stabilize, constant improvements.
Okay, we have 2 views now, 2 opinions. So we have prepare RPA common to all. Okay. But here solution opportunity assessment is coming between. So we'll explain that. Okay. So other views, or is it just those 2 views we have?
I go with the first option. You have to prepare you have to go to opportunity assessment.
I go with the first one.
You have to assess.
Okay. So we have a lot of party members now on option 1, option here.
Yeah, I choose the option 1 too.
Okay.
So please, can I see the question?
Yes, it's on the screen. Okay, sorry. The question. Actually, all those these narratives, it's just to just wanted to see
Steps of
the structure, yes, involved in deploying an RPA. Have you seen the question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so we come to this.
So I think the correct one will be prepare RPA, solution design, build, implement, and constant.
Implement RPA. So we have the third option there.
I think it's talking about C.
Yes, it's talking about C. So we have it, yes. So we have 3 views, 3 parties now.
I would go with C.
You will go with what?
B.
With C.
B.
B. B.
Okay, with B. Okay, let's look at it together. Yeah, prepare RPA. What will you do here? Prepare RPA. What will you do with preparing RPA? You're preparing robotic process automation. Does it sound like you are doing analysis or something? And if your work is going to fit into RPA?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. If it's what other things do we think we can have in preparing RPA?
Your software and basically
Blueprints. You
everything
do a
that will make
blueprint.
the
Your software.
It's your blueprint.
Okay. Software, like other existing maybe software you are using or something. Is that what that's talking about?
yes, you can update them, whatever it takes to make the RPA job possible.
Okay, all right. So when you prepare that, you now go into opportunity assessment. Opportunity assessment. So what do you do here?
Okay. Opportunity assessment. This like areas that you can employ RPA applications.
Does it resonate with? Sorry, there is a no like a feedback from someone. Okay. Does this resonate with? I mean, others that picked option 1. Does it resonate with what you have in mind? Why you said option 1 is?
Yes, sir.
You are the same person now. You picked. I'm asking from others.
Yes. Opportunity assessment is basically checking for where we can introduce RPA in the system.
Okay, where you can integrate. Okay, I've noted what you said now. Where you can integrate RPA in the system. Okay.
Yes.
I think that is the point of the version. That's what is different from this. Okay, except for you still have solution design. No, you have it also here. You have it also here. Okay, then we have build RPA itself. We have build RPA, we have build RPA. Then we have test RPA. After we have built it, do we need to test it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
we have test here also. Then here we have implement RPA. Okay. We have implement RPA here. Is it the same thing? To test and to implement?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Well, do you think which one do you think after building we should test?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then that means that we are knocking this house.
Yes, sir.
Should we? Who was the person that picked this? I want the person to agree with others, so we know that may God help me. Do we have even? Is it that I'm bad?
Yes, sir. I picked it.
Okay.
I don't think we should strike it out. If you build, you need to implement. Then if there in the implementation, if there's any issue, you can improve.
You can now improve. Okay. You are still you're still insisting on building. When you build, you implement. So
yes, sir.
you are
Without
where does
testing? No test.
How does test comes in?
You have to test before you implement now.
To test before you implement.
Yes, you
Sir,
test.
You
test
sir,
your.
you have to test your food before you eat, sir. When you are cooking
Yes, sir.
for Okay, you have to test it. If it's sweet, if it's not sweet, you look for how you can amend
so
it. So you have to.
Okay, yeah,
All right.
implement things like
In that one that has testing, have you seen that it doesn't really have implementation?
And yes, that's because by building, you're already implementing.
No, that's not.
No.
By building, you already test
Implementation is
itself, not
the
even.
use at the user's end. That's when the users are making use of the application
Yes,
or the
yes,
software.
yes.
okay, when the
But
secretary
testing, the builder can test it even while building.
Now
Oh, it
you need
doesn't.
to.
I think
How will you know if it's working if you've not implemented it? At least,
Have
even
to-
if it's like for a mock situation.
when you are building it might work. But when you carry it to the environment,
And this one is about the best best practice. Yes, that's the issue of testing and testing in the in that area, that option that has testing. It shows that that's the best practice for developing an RPA project. You test before you implement, but unfortunately, there's no implementation, as the other guy said, is on the part of the user.
Sorry, sir. Can you see the question again, please?
you see, it's just about
It's not
software.
about
Yes, it's just about it's just about software. It's just about product development, like we do any product development, software development, and it's just about that. What you would do normally with product software development, the cycle you must complete. That's what that's what the question is about.
I still think option one is still the best.
So the first option is fine.
The second option is the.
Okay, all right. So then we need to settle this rift. I mean, this not rift. This they call it gap or whatever, variance, anything you can think into it. Nobody is even going for 4. Why? What did 4 do? As in, no place for 4.
No place, sir.
No, there is no place, so we have removed that one from the equation. Okay, now let's settle this test RPA and implement like the speakers have been talking about. I think my own thinking, I'm thinking that yes, when you build something, before you even implement, I have different connections or affiliations that I can use. When it comes to curriculum development, for instance, you need to first test it before you implement. Implementation here, it's actually at a larger scale, but testing is at a small scale. You are testing using, you can even use people at other heads. Pilot is like pilot. In fact, it's not like it is pilot test. So when you have done pilot testing or product tryout, then you can now you see some things to review, and you still review it. Then you come back. It's an unending cycle. So you now implement. After implementing, you don't go back to school and sleep. The reason for constant improvement, anyway. All right, but I think we have constant improvement across all options. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm considering that test RPA is needed, as in after building, we should not just implement it right away. We should do quality control, like in quality assurance, quality control, to see if this works. Like in the case of computer production, you see the reason why Dell is durable or is more durable than HP. It borders on the issue of even testing. Now, the Dell, in the production of Dell, they will collapse they will fold it, they will collapse the laptop back and forth. They will do it 10,000 times. When it still meets up with when the strength is still there, the strength testing index is still there, then they believe that this one is fit to. That's why you collapse your laptop, your Dell a number of times. Sorry, Dell is not giving me anything, not even $1. I'm just using that. Okay, so that's why Dell seems durable. But HP, after some months or something, you just notice that that pivot is having issues. I don't know if I'm just using that. So test is that's why I'm thinking test is very to test your RPA, what you have built is very important. So now, if we have these two options now, so the issue we are having here is about this one says build, this one says test, this one says stabilize.
Hello,
I think yeah.
Okay, so now to advertise, is it the same thing of is it the same thing to
do what? So I didn't get you. You said to.
I'm actually can't hear you.
Okay.
I think it's the network.
All right. Now let's come to this the opportunity assessment. My view is that opportunity assessment is already so. Okay.
To prioritize, is it the same thing as to solution design?
Sorry, did you get what she said? I heard something ties. Is it?
She asked if to prioritize is the same as solution design.
Prioritize. Is it prioritize? I heard or stabilize. Sorry, let me guess.
No, I think it's.
I had something ties or something, so I didn't get the first. Sorry,
prioritize.
Did I hear prioritize or something?
Yes. Can you hear me, sir?
Okay, did you say prioritize?
Yeah. Is it the same thing as solution design?
Okay. Now, I don't know the context and how prioritize is coming in, except maybe I'm not getting something correctly.
She's asking that is solution design the same thing as prioritizing?
Okay, pilot testing. Oh, what? Sorry.
Prioritize.
Why? Can you put it on the chat box, please? Okay, you can spell it as well. This is something like PRIOTIZE. Is that what that seems like that's what I'm hearing. Is prioritize the same thing as I didn't get that. You said. Is someone putting it on the chat box? You that had it correctly, just anybody. To prioritize okay, that's what I had to prioritize the automated process. Is it the same as solution design? Amarachi, I'll need to consult dictionary now. Where you are taking me to?
Sir, I think solution design has to do with the building with UI studios.
Yeah.
The prioritizing here now, I don't think it has anything to do with solution design.
The solution design. It's the solution design is it's like the framework you want to adopts.
The blueprints.
The blueprint, yes.
That you want to build.
That you want to adopt in deploying RPA into your enterprise, into your work. At what point is RPA going to come in? And are we going to, how many persons will be required? What aspect of our job will RPA handle? Which are the ones that it will not handle? I haven't listed all the things that you do, let's say in so departments. What are the things? So which one are we going to subject to robots? Which one has some level of high mundane task index? And so which one can we, all of those things. So that is where solution design comes in. Before you now go into, okay, you are building it. So now to prioritize, sincerely, I don't know. If I don't know, I don't know. Forget about being an instructor or facilitator. What I don't know, I don't know. To prioritize the automated process, is it the same as solution design? That is that verb that is deflating me. I sincerely speaking, to prioritize, I'm still just looking at it. Can you simplify the prioritize?
So I don't think it's the same.
Okay, you understand.
Okay,
if you say it's not the same thing, can you please help me? It seems you understand what she's talking about prioritizing.
Prioritizing, that's after you must have designed, then you start looking at, because the solution design is more like the architectural work, the background work, the framework. It's when you are done with that phase, you now start. It depends on how do you want to prioritize it actually. Is it by department? Which department comes in first, or which department should be designed first, or anything? So, but generally, it's not the same thing.
Oh, okay, all right. I get it better now. Well, it may not, by what you just explained now, Ephraim. It should come under or into solution design. Hello.
We can hear you, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Yes, it should come. It should come by what you said now. That should come under the design. Now, okay, why we don't even have? I don't know why she's asking. What she wants to use that to maybe achieve in this cycle. Okay, but yes, back to what I was going to talk about with respect to opportunity assessment. To me, opportunity assessment seems like part of what you would have done in preparing RPA. Because after when you prepare your RPA, what do you do in opportunity assessment? If you are prepared, if let's say you are committed to prepare RPA, so what do you do in opportunity assessment? Please help me out. Just try to speak to that question. You are brainstorming. So it's for me, opportunity assessment should not even come here because it's already part of preparing RPA.
Yes,
hello, sir.
Now you can object it.
I believe
Yes, please.
opportunity assessment is like our option.
Your option.
Yeah, like checking out our option. What I'm about to do.
What do you do under RPA? What does that preparing RPA cover? So it's a tight corner of buttons.
Sir, I think to prepare RPA has to do with all the it's like a discovery stage, and also it entails the opportunity assessment also. That's when you look at the jobs that can be automated and how it will benefit the business and some other things like that. So I think you are right by saying the two should go. I mean, opportunity assessment should be part of prepare RPA. Because from UiPath Academy, they only have discovery stage, solution stage, development stage, testing stage, and the deployment, which is the implementation stage.
Okay. So I have one supporter, or is it one supporter? So since it's like I'm already queuing behind some persons. Okay. Sorry, are you getting any noise from your side, from my side? I mean, are you picking any noise from
Yes,
my
sir.
side?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, the distance is so much, and I'm wondering why it's the penetrate.
It's subtle, sir.
It's
It's not too loud, sir. So,
sorry, we have some nocturnal persons here. Their night is that day. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. Okay.
So, sir,
Yes, yes.
I think
Okay.
the answer should be B.
My simple mind, I think too that we need to prepare RPA, which it's a lot. It has a lot of things embedded in it. Part of which is to check if we have infrastructure, if we have the tech persons, if we have the what is required, what is required. Then what are the opportunities? Of course, the first thing is to have conducted needs analysis. How, why do we need it? Ask all manners of questions. Okay, that's opportunity assessment, and for me, it comes under you preparing ground. For what you want to embark on, and then you move into okay. Now, based on what we have identified, that okay, we have so task. In fact, this particular the reason why account departments do not meet up with expectation is because so aspect of their work cannot be handled by the number of persons, and it takes them into so number of days because they do it, and then that report it affect you do your analysis, boardroom issue, okay, and this affects everyone stakeholders when they don't get reports. It affects business, it affects decision making. So it's not just that reports are not being taken in, but it also affects decisions that we need to make, to maybe you need to transact or buy things or get something in. So all of those things, it's a lot of discussion, as in brainstorming, brain tasking, you do reverse brainstorming, or do all manners of stuff, and then you come into okay solution. We have embraced this now. We have said okay, we need RPA. Without RPA, we cannot survive. Okay, so how does it work? Which department or which aspect of this work are we going to deploy it? So then, when you have done that, so we can now go into the building. When you have built it, okay, this thing you have built, let's check it and see how it runs. You run it, and when you have run it, and then you see the flaws, the errors, you factor that in, you review it, you come back to building RPA, and then you test it, you stabilize what you have done, you then, of course, everything is still subject to improvement. So that's why.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, I think we
Yes.
might want to go for D. D is the right answer. That's option 4.
Okay.
Option 4 is the right answer.
Okay,
Because
so we
others,
just
like number one, does not have the implementation stage. Likewise, number two. Number three has implementation stage but no testing stage. But four, which is D, has all the stages. The prepare RPA, we can liken it to discovery stage, which also entails opportunity assessment and other analysis. Design stage, that's like the solution design, then followed by development stage, testing and implementation. I think it's D.
okay. Let me quickly. Sorry to use this one. Let me quickly puncture D. It doesn't have a room for improvements. Do you understand? As in, you after implementing, after implementing, that's the end of the road. As in, do you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm sure you do. Yeah, you said what? No. Do you agree with what I just said now?
I'm also looking at others, except if we don't have any option here.
The constant improvement is so germane, very seriously germane. Without it, everything we have been doing is just in vain, as in vain like vanity. So constant improvement is required. If we accept that, then option D should be taken out. All right. Okay. Now. All right. So I knew we are going to debate this. It's going to take time. I knew it. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So my view, B should fly for the explanations provided. Well. And in case they change the terms, maybe in another way. So, what is important is to understand the concept. Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir. Please, what was the answer for that question?
It's B that yes. The option that says the options that gives room for you, yes, to prepare, to design your solution. You build it, you test it. Now you have stabilize. Stabilize covers for to put, that is, you implement, you test, you implement, you test, you review, okay, and then still subject to constant improvement.
Okay, sir.
Right. So question 10, which is the type of breakpoint in the picture below? I think was this mentioned at any point? Which is the type of breakpoint in the picture below? Breakpoint settings. We have the condition is here. The hit counts. Okay. So we have conditional trace point, simple trace point, conditional breakpoints. All right. Which is the type of
conditional
breakpoint? I think I can't recall at what instance. Was it Julius or one of us? I can't recall what actually brought us to this part. Okay, we have conditional trace points, we have simple breakpoints, we have conditional breakpoint. Actually, this is conditional breakpoints. If you go to your breakpoint settings, like this is telling the conditions have been established here, and then the number of counts that it needs to hit before it moves to the next thing. So, which of the following can be used to ensure an execution continues even if an activity fails?
Try catch.
It's like you are the master of try catch. That should be Joe. Am I correct? Okay, so
Yes, sir.
John, are you still here or you have been thrown out? Okay, no problem. I just remembered him now. All right. So, okay, so we have try catch. Okay. Yeah, and that is it. Sorry, let me have found that. Question 12. What is the type of selector that is generated when you use a type into activity in a container such as open browser? A full selector, a dynamic selector, a partial selector, element selector. Which other one is this? Property explorer. Another one, the attached window. We still have another attached browser.
So the question again.
I take it again. This is it. What is the type of selector that is generated when you use a type into activity in a container such as open browser?
Should be a partial selector.
Should be partial, sir.
You say?
Partial
I had
selector.
someone
Partial
said
selector.
something.
Should be a partial
Okay.
selector.
Okay, why did you say that?
Because it's open in
In an open
what do you call it? A
browser
container.
environment.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. All right. Okay, you are working on a project and have created a for each activity to loop through various mail message variables. At the moment, you are setting the type argument property. Which of the below should be used? Okay. Which of the below should be used? We have this one, the system.web.mail.
System.mail.mail message.
System dot what? Oh,
Mail.mail message.
System.net dot mail dot mail message.
.net .mail.
Oh, yeah. Okay. They wanted to use web to distract us.
That is big.
Yeah, it's system.net.mail.mail message. 14, you have been tasked with creating a workflow that will read the first and the only, sorry, you have been tasked with creating a workflow that will read the first and only the first page of, and only the first page of a PDF file. All right, which setting below will work to meet the requirements using PDF activities? Okay. Which other options? Yeah.
Set range property to one string.
Set what?
Set range property to one string.
To one string.
String, yes, sir.
All right. So you have we have PDF activities that can help you to read a particular page, as in you can read from a particular portion to another portion. We have PDF activities that can help you to join PDF, like this software. We have a software that does that. Foxit, I think. Yeah. So you can join PDF. You can read the first of a particular selected page. All right. So I set range to one string. Yeah. Oh.
Hello?
Hello, Amarachi.
Hello, sir. Yes, sir. What is
Yeah.
the answer?
Yes, I said, yeah, it's when you set the range property to one string.
Okay, that is B.
That will. Let me check it. B. That's B.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. 16. Select the UI platform component which corresponds with the description below. Executing automation workflows. Executing automation workflows.
UiPath Automation Hub.
No, it's UiPath robots.
A.
I'm with you.
A. Robot.
Okay, robots. All right, executing. We've talked about it. All right. Someone should read this.
You're working with
You are working with a
physical database of employees of a group in the company you work at. I'll take that again. You're working with a typical database of employees of a group in the company you work at. The data organized naturally in an XLSX file. Which of the following worksheet elements would be used for the following content? The date of birth of all employees.
Column.
We've done something similar.
Column.
Yes, column.
Column.
Yes, sir.
Column, sir.
Worksheet. The data organized naturally in an XLSX file. Which of the following worksheet elements would be used for the following content? The dates of birth of all employees.
It's the column, sir.
Column.
An
Okay.
element in the worksheet is the column.
Right. What is a UiPath selector?
The unique ID of an element.
I think D.
Oh,
Although I'm not
it's
sure.
a container for UI elements. It's a for the UI tree.
Okay, I'm still taking. Someone said B.
A container, yeah, a container for UI elements.
Okay. A container. That's C. That's C, Abi.
Yes, sir. See.
That's C. Okay. Is that our answer?
I think it's A, sir.
D.
Someone said D, someone said hey. I captured the two. Someone said used to explore the workflow tree. The unique ID of an
Yes, I said D.
Okay. Then someone said hey. Someone said hey. Did I hear hey?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'll go with
Okay,
A too.
so A, it's the path to the UI element, starting from the root all the way to the target element. Yeah, A fitting without wasting further time. Every other thing comes like this used to explore the UI tree. Used to explore the workflow. This workflow, that one is distraction. The unique idea of an UI element, of course, together with used to explore the UI, they are together. A container for UI elements. It is a path actually. It's a
B
path.
is UI Explorer.
You say what? The
I said
selector.
B could be UI Explorer.
I wanted to ask the phone. I know you already put up on my face. Now I am again. And you know I'm going to watch it to work back.
Please, let's meet our Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, it is time to, of course, everyone is both daddy, mommy, everyone is involved in this business. Okay, so sorry, I was trying to say something that the right one is the path to the UI elements, because that's what selectors actually deals with. Yeah, 19. Wow. You need to write a data table to an Excel file. Currently, the file does not exist. If the Excel write range activity is used to write the data table, what will be the result? Number one, file will be created and there will be no data. Number two, process will throw an execution error. Number three, process will continue the execution without creating the file. Number four, file will be created and the data will be located in the file.
File will be created and data will be located.
That is the answer.
Huh? Okay, I had once someone said.
File will be created.
It's the last one, sir.
The last one.
Okay, any objection? Any objection?
Yeah, I think it's B. That's process will throw an execution error.
Yes, process to throw an execution error. I choose
Why? Why?
Because for Excel write range, there's a difference. The difference between Excel write range and the workbook.
Yeah.
Is the workbook, if the file doesn't exist, the workbook will create the file, then store the data in it. And for the workbook, you don't even need to install Excel on your machine.
All right.
But if you are using the Excel range activity, you need to have Excel installed on your machine. So it will throw an error.
Yeah, because since you are using this file, this Excel file, I've created your table, and you want to read it using Excel. So yeah, am I still on course? Currently, the file does not exist. Okay, this file does not exist, and you want to use Excel write range. All right, not the workbook write range. Okay, and definitely what it will do is to throw an execution error. 20, every time we insert data into an application or we send a command to a system, system to produce a change or a continuation. We perform an input action. Which of the following are input actions? Select for. Which of the following are input actions? Don't forget we have input methods. We also have input actions. Input actions, let me just put it safe.
So type into activity is one, sir.
Type into send hotkey.
Send hotkey.
Send hotkey. Click.
Yeah. Click get text.
Click.
Click get text.
Are we done?
No, sir. We said get text. Click. Type into activity.
Yes, sir. That's all.
How many? Okay, select for.
Okay, select what?
Type into activity.
Type
Send
into
hotkey.
send
Click
hotkey.
activity. Then get text activity.
All of the above.
We have click. So you're also saying get text is part of it?
Get text. Right.
Is get text an input action?
No, sir.
No. Get text or
no, sir.
is for scripting.
Okay. All right. Over.
Okay, so click, type into
and hover.
And over.
Oh, nobody's speaking over.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. It's not an
So which one?
activity. It is under the click activity.
Do you mean hover?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's the question? Input action. All right. Let me see. Let me rather ask. The topic 4. Yeah. Sorry. Look, I'm taking too long a time. But we need to see where over comes in and how it comes in. Let's Okay, we have click. We don't have issue with this. Click. We don't have issue with type and send out key. Okay, copy text, that's an output action. All right. You have okay, this is click. All right. Then we have over UI element. Okay. It's actually when you hover over an element, what do you get? What happens? Let's settle it from that point.
It's like a screen scraping.
You get input.
You get input. Is it is okay when you okay you get
you get an input and an output. It's
perfect.
when you overwrite,
It does the two. It does the two. You get an input and an output. Yeah. That's why over was
Sorry,
was
sir.
making,
Sir, I didn't understand the output part.
okay, we have input actions. We also have output actions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. You don't understand the output part of the over. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, I'm talking about the output part of the over, sir. I understand the input, it gets input, but the output, how?
Okay, when you hover your mouse on something that has like maybe something pops up, as you hover your mouse, that's an input. The one pops up is an output. Hello.
I'm listening, sir.
Yes. What do you do? What happens essentially with when you hover your mouse on something or on an element? Of course, in the case of
highlights and get the input to the system.
It highlights.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the action of putting your mouse, that action, of course, it's that action of hovering. I want to use another verb of putting your mouse cursor on an element. It's an input action. So when it hovers on an element, what if it's an element that has like if it's a pop-up, for instance, what does
Okay, I understand.
It gives,
Any element that have information, yes, they have details.
Yes, it gives you, that's why.
Okay, I get it, sir, I get it.
All right, so that's the reason for that selection. Yeah, I mean this place. Okay, here. Okay, we can still travel within the 6 minutes. We can do 6 questions.
That's not possible, so.
It depends on the question now. Look at this one. Which panel would you use to create a test bench? Which panel?
So let's see the other options.
Yeah, a test bench. The local panel, the project panel, the activities panel, the
local panel.
The what's it called now? The designer panel. You say what?
The local panel.
The local panel.
Okay. Let's check it out. Sometimes it's difficult to this. I know we're very, very close to finishing. This one has refused to stop. You want to abort? Yes. Okay, let me check. Let's use this as an example. Yeah, sometimes you have an activity you are using and you want to see, oh gone. You want to see how it will work before you really, maybe before you bring it into the main work. So let's see this. Sorry, it should be in the activities panel actually. So this is test. This is what's it called now? Message box.
Message box.
Okay, if you right click on it, you see this. You can create test bench. Now it will open another window. I mean, not everything still within this project. So it's like you want to test how it's going to. Okay, all right. Now read this. This is the test bench for message box. Okay, you may now edit the properties of the message box. What's it called? Activity. Press the debug file when you are ready. Okay, so here I can. I want to just imagine. I want to. Let me just say you are welcome. I want to see how it would work before I bring it into the main, the main work where I want to really use it. So I may just, in that instance, create a test bench. It's a place where you test activity or an activity and to see its functionality before you decide to bring it into the main work. That's why it is called test bench. Okay. So yeah, you're welcome. It's not going. It's not. That's not right.
Sorry, sir. Sir, please, what are we testing?
We are testing message box. We want to see how it would work. We want to see how it will work. So we are testing it. We are pulling it before we bring it into the main work. We want to see its functionality. That's the work file.
Okay, so does that mean we can test every activity?
You can certainly. So that's what the test bench offers you. Okay, so we see, okay, no issue with this. So I can decide to. So I see the way it works now, and then I can pull it into the main work. That's okay. This is okay. I haven't tested it. So essentially, we'll get the test bench from the activities panel. Right line, create test bench. Dialog box, create test bench. Anything, assign, create, you right click, you create test bench. Okay, that's okay, so it's from the activities panel. 22. Which of the following activities can be used to add data to an existing Excel document without overwriting existing data? Select 2. So here we have. All right, so we have 4 options before us. The workbook. So we should knock out all this workbook, isn't it? We should knock these ones out. These are workbook. All right, and then We have Excel write cell. That cannot be. We need something robust. So Excel append range
Append.
works. Yes. Then it works fine. Then which other one? Then even the next Excel activity also we do. Okay.
So what's the answer?
These two,
Sorry,
the
is that
last
the only answer?
The last two. We need to select two. This workbook will not even fit in because we are dealing with Excel file. Oh.
That already exists.
Yeah, you say?
Excel file
sorry.
that is already in existence.
Sorry, there is a different explanation here, contrary to what I said. So please, let that be corrected. The Excel, let me read the question again. Which of the following activities can be used to add data to an existing Excel document without overwriting existing data? So we have Excel append range, workbook append range. They will do that. Okay, what trimming off path of that question is that there is an existing Excel file. Okay, so the right answer is workbook append range and Excel append range, not the one that we write. It is the one that we append that will fit in, that will help to write without overriding or overwriting on existing data. Yeah. Okay, sorry, it's even past deadline 23. Okay, this is a giveaway. You are working on an automation, and one of the requirements is to store the value of an email address. When you are doing this, you notice a variable property or field is optional. That's required. Which property or field is this? Okay, I get it. So which property?
Default.
Okay, default. I think it's what? Okay, global exception. You are here. I've mentioned this. Global exception.
One for the entire project.
One, it's actually one for an entire project. Try catch will be as much as possible. But for global exception class, it's one for an entire project. Okay, let me stop at 25 so that we can have Silver Jubilee and Silver, what's it called? Silver celebration. Identify the missing words in the following sentence within the context of UiPath Academy. That thing is the functionality of UiPath Studio that allows analyzing and editing selectors. It contains a status button showing users the
UI Explorer.
Okay, all right, okay. So I should save my saliva. It's already drying.
Yes.
All right, before too much of fatigue sets in, I think we should call it a day. And so, thank you for your cooperation.
Hello, sir.
Input review. Yeah, someone has a question.
Sir, please, where this study material that you're using for us, where can one, get it from?
I suppose that is coming from Momotayo.
No.
Okay. Yeah, Yusufu. Well, you can get it from Udemy. Of course, you
Okay.
need to. Yes, you need to
Pay.
so pay. Yes, you need
Yeah.
to pay,
You need to
and
pay.
well, then you have to test yourself against time. Okay, it's not like the pace we are following. The format in which we are, the format which this into which this the material has been written to is to allow us as a class um, to use that resource. All right, so that's just where you can get it from actually.
Okay.
If you check your website, you see that for uploaded some materials, video-based YouTube materials, and PDFs that you can also check. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Share Joe.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. What about, can we also get what is it called? DOMs. UiPath RPA DOMs.
Okay, you can get it. It's online.
How do we get it? If you can get the DOMs and use the DOMs, the DOMs cost it might be like around $50 to $60.
Okay, you want us to get it?
Maybe we can get DOMs. So to use DOMs to prepare, they are likely question. I mean, not likely. They are the possible question that is going to come out. The latest DOMs.
Okay. Okay, but this is something we've got. We've not even finished chewing it. Let me also ask, we can crowdsource for it.
But how?
It's not
but
compulsory.
If someone like the student too would like to get the DOMs, so how can we get the DOMs?
Okay. Yeah, you don't mind my response. It's just the way it appeals to me now. Maybe later, maybe I may not answer this question this way another time.
Okay.
But I think, let me ask from students if there is anyone that asks. Everything, all the materials that may be required to prepare for exam may not necessarily come from us. So that's why we exist as a team, as a as a team. So we have some that has been uploaded. We have this one that we are using. So sincerely speaking, if you go to Ephraim's house, and this time around I'm talking about his laptop, you will see some things there. You cannot go to James' house and not eat. It will definitely feed you, give you something. You get the same thing when others come to you, you will have something to give them. So I'm sure if you interact, if we ask, you have a platform. If you ask, some persons may just be here quiet, maybe they are using their own dump and quietly and all of that. They will just want to share the first 5 pages with you, and then that will be okay for you. So we can find out. So does anyone have what Shehojo is asking for? We can make it available. This is what this is our effort, what we are bringing to the table. Okay.
Answer. I don't know, maybe you have the link where we can get the DOMs to UiPath associate certification.
Okay, well, I don't have the link. I don't have the link.
But there are DOMs too, sir, because I know of some certification exams that do bring out DOMs before the exam fully. Like Zen, I don't know, maybe you know Zen, the examinations, Zen certification exam.
Okay, there's a lot of things actually outside there. It's an information world, and the more you dig, the more you get. So, and our strength in digging out information differs. So maybe the level where I operate has not allowed me to dig. So I don't. I may have come across it, but as I speak to you,
yes, sir.
I'm not, so nothing is clicking.
Sir,
Okay.
Okay, so can I have a bailout? Can someone help me to
sir,
attend to?
I'll share a link with them now. They can get DOMs, latest DOMs.
Can you imagine that?
Thank
Yeah.
you. You see?
I'll share a link with you people on
Thank you.
Thank you
both
so
on
much.
WhatsApp and this thing on Telegram.
Yeah. Share it on Telegram. Good.
I will.
Good, my brother.
Wow. Thank God.
All right, that's great.
Sorry,
Yeah?
who is sharing the dumps with us?
It's me. I'll share it. I'll share it now.
Okay, thank you.
I'll share it now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Oluwaseyi Yesufu.
Okay.
After Peter, you wanted to say something? Okay, all right now. So I think it's a good point to call it